Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening. Today is Saturday the 27th of June 2020. And this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm here on a Facebook Live, talks and reflections, bringing you to you. This is since the April until now, every night. I'm giving online Dhamma talks and reflections, helping you to be friend with you, and also giving you an opportunity to learn some aspects of the Dhamma, some aspects of the Buddhism, and how to apply these in our day-to-day life, particularly during this pandemic. How we apply into the daily life, and how we can get benefit from this pandemic, and also using this time skillfully to get more a spiritual path. That's why Buddha said that listening Dhamma again and again is always beneficial, which will help us to hear something which we haven't heard before. Some new informations on the teachings that we have studied or that we have learned will become more clearer, become more refined, and we'll have an opportunity to investigate the teachings that we have known or the teachings that we have been practicing, an ability to have a right understanding. So it is in a way a form of a blessings. One who has learned many skills or knowledge, acquire knowledge. As a result of that, one should not be satisfied with what they know. Always so-called love of wisdom. One has to be a philosopher. A philosopher doesn't mean that one who is criticizing or one who needs to be detailedly understanding something. Philosopher simply means love of wisdom. Love of wisdom. And that's what we need to be. And only then we will be able to overcome our ignorance on the subjects, ignorance about the different things that we do not know. Many people may think that they have known so many things, and they are intelligent. But if you look at carefully, you will be realizing by yourself that how innocent you are. I remember when I joined the master's degree, the graduate postgraduate in Aberdeen University on religion and society. When I was doing these papers, which I had to do each month, different papers, and I was in the library and realized there are so many books on so many different subjects. Buddhism is just one part of it, and one section, and within the one section, again, one tiny part of it. And I felt so ignorant in this vast world which has got so much knowledge. Even the one subject that we think we know, we haven't able to fully comprehend. And we still have so many doubts, so many misunderstandings. As a result, one who is holding that I know all, when that person simply holding the views, so-called kamupadana, having this attachment to the view that I have is the truth. The things that I know is the truth. When someone is holding in that views that they have known, basically it aggravates the concept of the ego. So rather than now seeing one is a part of the system or conditioned, he will project himself or will put himself in a superior state of someone else or superior than somebody else. There is a saying in Asia called, "Beyond the skies there are other skies." And that's what we need to know. And in this, again, it reminds me a story at the time of the Buddha, that normally Buddha's daily life, in the nights, Buddha normally will give audience to the celestial beings. And one of the nights, the celestial beings were just, out of respect, wanted to come and visit the Buddha and pay respect to the Buddha. And one of them, the Brahma, was hesitant to come down to pay respect to the Buddha, saying that the Buddha is a human. He's in a human world. I am one who knows. I am better than him. I am bigger than him. My position is greater than him. I better not to go to see him. And he stayed in his existence, whereas the rest of other celestial beings around him simply went to pay respect to the Buddha and waited for the admonition from the Buddha. And this story came to the Buddha, that this such and such celestial being is thinking that he doesn't want to come down to this human world, who is very stinky and very smelly. He is in a greater state, in a greater world. So Buddha again went up to meet this celestial being and enlarged himself in a sleeping position enlarge himself with the magical powers, that says that this celestial being who was so great, so big, it became even so tiny bit, so tiny. And with that, his ego overcome. So Buddha simply gave him a lesson, saying that there are someone who is greater than you. So rather than holding on to the view that you are the great, you are the best, you know everything, your position is better, one who holds such views, definitely he is an ignorant fool. One should not be associating with such people. And never underestimate of anyone when somebody is doing. Everyone has a capability of a develop, capability of progress, and capability of success. It is simply the time and dedication and opportunity that one needs. And finally, they will succeed if the opportunity is there, if the time is perfect. That's why there is a saying that when someone fell down, do not look down on them. Basically, if you can support, then support them. If you can't, then again, at least do not look down upon them. One day they may stand up. One day they may become a success. That's why it is very important to know these things. And we never say that others' job is less hassle or less tiring than someone else. Everyone's job is equal responsible and equal tiring to all. No one takes or no one can look down on anyone's job as lesser or a greater. Everyone's job is important. That's why there is an English saying that as long as you never wear shoes, another's shoes, then you do not know their pains. So if you really want to know how difficult that job that one is carrying out, then you have to wear their shoes. So you simply go and do by yourself, and then you realize that how difficult that job is. Doesn't matter how small that job is. We always need to respect. Never underestimate about any simple, small jobs. Suppose if everyone becomes teacher, who will be the student? And only teachers are there. Then what about the cleaning? What about looking after the classes? What about the administration sites? And in one department, everyone are playing their own responsibilities, and they are very crucial for the success of that organization. Top down to below, from the one who is a security guard up to the chairman. If security guard do not do his duty properly, then there is always vulnerability. So we all are playing our roles, and we all have our own responsibilities to fulfill, and we are working, and all our jobs are important as others too. So do not look down on someone's job, that they are doing this small job, or let's say cleaning job. They are crucial as well. I remember when I was a very young teenage time, and one of the teachers told us a story at that time. And the story goes like this. In one family, they have two boys. One boy is very talented, and he is very onto the education. So they supported, encouraged him to go to school and study. Whereas another boy who was not that great in the studies, readings, so he liked to go to the farms, working in the farm. And he works very hard every day. And whereas the second son, who doesn't do any physical works, only spend on time reading, studying, going to the college. And there was a debate between a husband and a wife. A wife says that my son, who is going to school, the college, and study, he works hard. The father said, no, the another son who is working in a farm, his work is more harder. So they couldn't come to conclusion. One is saying that one son is spending much time in a study, he's working hard, and another side, the father is saying that one is working in the farm is working hard. This is more tiring. So they want to test who is working hard. As a farmer, they didn't know how to test, and they didn't have any knowledge about these technologies. So what they did was they put the piles of this rice plant, and they made 2 beds in 2 different places with a pile of these plants. So one night, both were given a sleep on the rice plants that was piled as a bed, and which is very common in Asian countries. After the harvest, you will have plenty of rice plants. So of these 2 boys go to sleep, and both after the dinner went to sleep. The boy who works in the farm, within a few minutes, he went to deep sleep, like a deadlock. And whereas another son who normally goes to school or university and study, he couldn't go to sleep. So he was just moving around. And it took very long time for him to go to sleep. And despite of that, he woke up a little early, and he already left. Whereas the son who normally works in the farm is still sleeping. Now the conclusion, next day, the father and a mother made that a boy who goes to study, mentally he is very tired, whereas a boy who normally goes to farming, he is physically tired. Now it's up to us which one and which way you want to say who is tired in which way. So that's how they come to conclusion that everyone is working hard. So that's why, in order to understand that who is working harder or whose pain is greater, we have to wear their shoes, and only then we know. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand their pains. We will not be able to understand how hard they're working. So that's why Buddha's advice is never judge anyone. Buddha's advice is do it for yourself. Work it out. And always remember that whatever you do, does it affect to anybody else? Are you concerned of someone's use it or not? There are many examples. Sometimes people, thinking that someone is going to do, then they will just leave it without thinking that the action is whether good or bad. I have seen so many examples. Let's say in Nepal in particular, I have seen people will clean their houses and then leave the rubbish in front of the house, actually the council will take it away. And they will not even think of how messy that is, because council will take it away only once a week, and the rubbish will be there, and they will not care at all. Same things in different places you can see. Even here in our center, I notice a lot. I observe as well. Because having seen that someone can do, other members simply will leave. And thinking that it is not my duty. My duty is done. Like that. So that's why it's always needs to be mindful that every action that we take, every action that we carry out, whether that is affecting others or not. If others' job is extending more than it should be because of our action, then we should be mindful of that in next time. Because of your action making someone in trouble. And that is not how it should be. Your action should make others more comfortable, others more feeling welcomed, others feel more joyous. But if your action is making others feeling tired or feeling more job to be done, then that organization will not survive. Because everyone is looking only their own comforts, disregards of anyone's comforts. And with that, again, they will not be able to practice at all. And that's how Buddha rejected the caste system. That's how Buddha rejected shouldn't be dividing of one to another. We should respect one another as common human beings. And also we should respect each one's responsibility. We should respect each one's so-called duties or the jobs. So that's why if you are a chairman, doesn't mean that you look down on someone who is a security guard. A chairman can feel safe because a security guard is guarding properly. And a security guard can have a secure job. Simply, the chairman is working good. The company is going well. So we shouldn't be looked down on one to another. and everyone's job are crucial. All what we need to know, all what we need to be mindful, that every action that we take, and particularly intentionally when we do something, it does matter to us and then to others. In terms of it does matter, every action that we take, whether good or bad, with intention, the effect is returning to us. We have to accept the result of our own action. And every action that we do, it does matter to the people around us or surroundings. They will be affected by it too. And as a result of that, Buddha always talking that be mindful what you do. Does it affecting you or does it affecting others? Or simply Buddha is teaching us to be mindful whether that is beneficial for yourself or whether that is beneficial for others or whether that is beneficial for both. If that is only benefit for your well-being, then that's not good enough. And if that's only good of others, not beneficial for yourself, again, it's not good enough. It should be beneficial for both sides, own self and then the others. And that action is taken as the wise action, and which will help your mind to be clear. So you're sanding your mind with those actions. Doesn't matter how small that act is. And gradually that's become the perfections that you are perfecting, and that's become a merit that you are accumulating. And with that, the aura or this sense of naturally connecting with other people develops. But the more you look at your own benefit alone, the gap or the space become more and more. You become more isolated because you are projecting yourself better than someone else. That's why in the temples, particularly in Buddhist temples, Thai people like to wash and clean simply to show their humbleness. And sometimes people think that they are doing it more than it should be. No, they are simply practicing and gaining this humbleness, giving up their ego. So that we have to learn, and we should be doing it too. That's why the practice of cleaning and the practice of cleaning the dormitories and especially the toilet is taken great merits that one has to practice. One who can clean the toilets, whether in your own house or in a common places, and that person is the true, the humble one who has given up his ego. So today I focus on the job and the responsibilities, that do not look down on any jobs, do not look down on anyone. We should respect to all and all, and do not categorize into different groups of this group or that group or this ethnic or this ethnics like that. We all have a same nature. We all want to be in the same status too. So always be mindful of your action, whether that is affecting someone to have a difficult time or whether it is making someone to have a comfortable life. Which again, always be mindful of your benefit, others' benefit, and then the both benefit for the both. If it's only benefit for you, then rethink. If it's only benefit for others, again rethink and try to find the right way to make a balance. And that will bring harmony and peace to yourself and then to the community. So thank you everyone for listening again. And in a few minutes time we will have an evening chanting and a guided meditation. So tonight after the guided meditation I will be answering some of your questions. So you stay tuning in and you can write your questions. So thank you and see you shortly.